What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Keep It Kula Podcast. Jaclyn Kula here. Got cousin Owen joining me today. We're just gonna jump into it. Team Canada just beat Czechia in the quarterfinals. Overtime. Mitch, Marner. Owen, I see you rocking your half sweater. Got a Leafs hat on. How do we begin this, Owen? How do we begin?
Jaclyn, that was, to go to the, I don't know, call it negative or whatever, is almost the biggest choke in, I don't know, Olympics history. Czechia almost just took down one of the great rosters in, sporting Olympic history. What a game. I don't even know if I should admit this on a sports podcast, but to be honest with you, Jaclyn, I'm a diehard Olympics fan, which I think I've said. So a lot of days I've woken up at 5, 6 in the morning. Today I woke up at 7 in the morning to go watch Mark McMorris. And yeah, heartbreaking. And also the Canadian ladies, they also had slopestyle. They also didn't get on the podium. I actually said to myself, I'm going to skip the first period. I'll wake up. We'll be up 2-0. I wake up to my phone blowing up from my dad and brother. Bennington, what the hell? We're down 2-1. What the F? So kind of embarrassed to say this. I actually missed almost the whole first period, thinking it was like, no, because like I said, Jack, I've been waking up at 5, 6 a.m. every day for short track speed skating, snowboard, skiing, everything. Like I'm a huge Olympics nut, not just hockey. Like I'm sure a lot of your fans, Jaclyn, they're only going to care about the Canada hockey. I love all of it. So,
Yeah, exactly.
anyways, yeah, crazy.
Insanity. Yeah. So obviously, I was watching the entire game. Wow, Jaclyn Celebrini. I think, listen, I want to talk about all the other pieces of this game, but Jaclyn Celebrini, 5 goals, youngest player for Team Canada to do this in elimination games, I believe is what the stat is. Who would have thought that this 19-year-old coming in, I didn't even know if he's going to be getting a lot of playing time. Like, we didn't really know the situation. He has been the GOAT of this team. Absolutely loving what I'm seeing. Next, Connor McDavid. Like, how do you describe a guy like McDavid? The way, gosh, his passing, his skating, his stealing, you name it. He and Celebrini are my favorite duo in sports.
Celebrini has been unbelievable. He's 19 years old, and he's been arguably, I would say, the second best or best player. I think McDavid's been the best, but he's been so good. Celebrini, scored the first goal and just been terrific for this team. We wouldn't be here without him. I don't know. It's hard not to skip to those last 5 minutes, or maybe we can go to Czech school first if we want to break down like the whatever.
I say dude, like
it's hard, right? Like where do we
it's
start?
hard not to like go into it, but if you guys are watching the podcast, you want to hear the real stuff. We can't just get all crazy. Obviously, if I'm wearing a Leafs hat right now, Owen's wearing a half sweater, those guys, someone who was with the Leafs at one point did something big, and a guy who's still with the Habs did something big as well. But yeah, kind of going through this game, Canada did not look sharp at all. Obviously, Sidney Crosby got hurt as well in the second period. We don't know what's going on with him, the timeline of his injury. It's a lower body injury after a huge hit. He did not look good. He was limping, and then I was thinking like, shoot, we're screwed. We were down 2-1 at that point. And so, you got to give flowers to Czechia though. Like their goalie made some amazing saves, great goals. David Pastrnak, who's an amazing player already, obviously, I think was a little bit quiet, in this game. And then he kind of got a little loud there, with a big goal. So after the Crosby injury, I was thinking like, we're done, we're cooked. But then Nathan MacKinnon, who also doesn't look his healthiest. Something's off a little bit about him. He doesn't have that explosiveness that we usually see. Scores to tie it. And then the third period, it felt like it was all crashing down. With about 12 minutes or so into the third, Czechia takes the lead 3-2. And I'm thinking, it's done. Like, we're cooked. Game's over.
Jaclyn, I think you're wrong. I think it was 7 minutes left. I think it was
7. I think you're right.
So I think actually, to be on the nose, I think it might have been 7:38 or.
You know what? I'm going to double check that.
12 minutes is scary. So 12 minutes would be scary, but I'm pretty sure it was like 7:38 left.
You're right. You are right.
Yeah.
Pallet scored. Yep, my bad. Thank you all.
So we have just over 7.5 minutes. I'm like, we just lost this game. This is horrible. I was in shock. Quite frankly, Jaclyn, I was in shock. To go to MacKinnon quickly, Jaclyn, he got hurt at the end of the last game. He was angry after taking a big hit, and then we saw him kind of limping. So MacKinnon might not be fully healthy, but having him on the ice is more than good enough.
100%.
slightly disagree with you about the Crosby part. Crosby's maybe the fourth best player on this team, third or fourth, maybe even fifth, you could argue. That's how
Yeah.
deep we are. The only reason I disagree with you, Jaclyn, is we're so deep that we should win that game without Crosby, right? So I didn't actually think we were screwed. I more just thought, can the guys put something together? Like it's like, I know it sounds crazy because Crosby's one of the best players in the world. We actually don't need him. And I'm
We
actually
don't,
not.
but the thing I was worried about was because of the leadership of him as a captain. Yeah. He's been here. I needed the veteran presence with McDavid and Salabrini out there. Yeah,
I agree. Like him and Doughty are big veteran leaderships. They've won gold medals for Canada, so you need those guys on the ice for their leadership. I'm with you. Just to go forward quick, I think he should sit for semifinals because I think we'll be okay. I think this will wake them up. I think this will, the next game, regardless of who it is, maybe other than Sweden, because Sweden's great, but I don't think it will be Sweden. I think we're going to win by quite a good margin because John Cooper's going to wake them up and go, guys, wake the fuck up. And I'm sorry for swearing. I don't like to swear on your podcast, but seriously, like, wake the fuck up. Like, that's not acceptable, you know? So I have a feeling the semifinal game, Crosby will sit regardless. And Bennett or whoever else, they'll slot in, whoever it is, they'll slot in someone. But yeah, I mean, I guess we got to. I mean, Jaclyn, we have to skip to the last 4 minutes.
All right. I don't
know if I can take it away or you, but
you know what? I'm gonna let Owen take this away. But before you go in, this person that scored the goal had a beautiful chance earlier in the game, and I was like, no freaking way. I know Owen's upset. Owen, take it away for your boy Nick Suzuki.
Let me say this. So a lot of people, Jaclyn, like most people thought he deserved to be on the team. So I'm not going to say that people doubted that, but especially last day or two, I'm sure you heard the noise being in sports media, Jaclyn. A lot of people are saying, sit him. You know, he's not even playing center, and he's a center. So why are you putting him at wing when you could play X, Y, and Z? So a lot of people are haters. A lot of people doubted God. My favorite or second favorite Montreal Canadian player, one of our heroes on the Habs. And he wasn't having a great game. Misses an empty net. He was caught pinching on the goal. I will say, to be fair, he's not a defenseman. So whoever's assignment that was on the left side of the ice was completely caught pinching. So it's not Suzuki's. Like, in my opinion, Jaclyn, maybe being a bit defensive here, it's not really on him. He doesn't play defense. So he looked terrible. Did he look bad? Of course. But it's like, whoever is supposed to be there missed their assignment. So you can't fully blame him. Anyways, there's about 4 minutes left in the game. All of the forwards on Canada go off. Nick Suzuki dumps it in, stays with the puck, loses it, gets the puck back. He looks like a horse, gets it to, I don't know who it is at the point. I'm not even sure who that was. I don't know. Anyways, not sure who was. Someone on the team takes a shot, and Suzuki, the absolute hero, with a beautiful tip-in, your Montreal Canadiens hero, to tie the game at 3-3 with 3 minutes left to save Team Canada, to save us. Jaclyn, the amount of texts I got, the amount of texts of people.
I was going to text you. I was working though. I couldn't.
Jaclyn, I got maybe 10 texts from people saying Suzuki. Like
what went through my mind was when we were reading off the rosters when they first announced it, and we both yelled Suzuki. That's all that I heard in my head while I'm trying to write. That's all I can hear. I'm like, get it out of my head. I need to work right now. But I was thinking about you right away. I was like, no way. Nick Suzuki just saved the day for Team Canada.
And look, like, he's had big goals in his career for the Habs, playoffs, regular season. Biggest goal of his career. Second goal he's had in this Olympics. A lot of people, like I said, doubting him, and he didn't have his best game. And when it mattered most, he scores the game-saving, game-tying, game-hero goal. Yeah. And now everyone's going to be quiet, and he'll get his flowers. And in this, rest assured, he'll be a big part in the semifinals. Is all I got to say. He'll be especially without Crosby, he'll be a huge part of that game in the semis. And listen, the biggest goal of his career, the biggest goal for Canada, and I think we have to talk about overtime now, Jaclyn, because you got a Leafs hat on. So maybe,
you know what?
Maybe you break this one down for us, Jaclyn.
Before going overtime, though, we got to talk about how there was about 1 minute left of regulation. Binnington, what a save, man. We were about to lose 4-3 with a minute to go, but Binnington said no. I think he made actually 2 saves on those shots there. Unbelievable stuff, because he hasn't looked sharp at all in this game. Trust me, Twitter was kind of blowing up, being like, why is he playing? Before the game, during the game. Huge play, so give him his flowers. Now going into overtime, first of all, 3-on-3 hockey is some of the greatest sport you will ever see. 3-on-3 hockey is amazing. In the Olympics, too, which is, I think, crazy, by the way, to have 3-on-3 hockey, but I love it. Mitch Marner, former Toronto Maple Leaf, probably the most hated former Maple Leaf of all time, considering everything that went down in the past year, him leaving, the situation, the comments he's made. People are not rocking a Marner Leafs jersey that much anymore. All of Canada, all of Toronto loves Mitch Marner right now because Mitch Marner scored the game-winning goal in overtime to send Team Canada to the semi-finals. Honestly, Marner has looked kind of bad. This game especially, have not liked what I've seen from him at all this Olympics. I was kind of getting those playoff Leafs vibes where he's not really putting anything in. The Leafs fans are chirping a little bit. And you know me, I'm not the biggest NHL fan necessarily, but I'm the biggest Olympic hockey fan. So Team Canada over anyone, any player, I don't care. I got a Leafs hat, but I'm not a diehard Leafs fan. I cheer for them for the city of Toronto. I want to see them win it, obviously, just because I love the city and all that. But I'm rocking this because every Leafs fan needs to say, I love Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner, thank you for what you did for us. Thank you for everything you did for Toronto, because he is one of the reasons why we're going to the semis. What an overtime. Stressful as hell. Overtime's always stressful. 3-on-3 overtime is even more stressful. Unbelievable stuff. Celebrini even got an assist on that. Just amazing stuff that we saw. We saw the Team Canada, they did not have their best game. Guys are dealing with injuries. Guys are sloppy. Definitely did not come out with the same fire that we've seen them. Their last game, they won 10-2. When they played Czechia earlier, they won 5-0. So the fact that they were down, they also were losing for the first time since 2010 in a game. They had not been down in a game, I believe. Let me fact check that. The first time since 2010 that they have trailed in Olympics. And that is unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable, Jaclyn. Let me say, Binnington made a point-blank save, in overtime, a bullet. I don't even know who shot it, but a beautiful save, right in front of him, basically. And Marner, that goal, he undressed everyone. He split through the defenders, backhand, top shelf. Jaclyn, I was screaming. My dad was at work. I was on the phone with him. I'm like, Marner. It was insane. I mean,
hold up. Would you rock a Leafs Marner jersey?
No. So look, I've been a Mitch Marner hater forever, Jaclyn, and it's ironic because he's not even on the Leafs, so it makes it even funnier. Obviously, I love him right now. He just scored the biggest goal of Canada scored in 12 years or however many years it's been. Yeah, it was an unbelievable goal. I mean, he dangled through the whole team, top shelf, backhand. It was beautiful. The celebration was great. I mean, who would have thunk it? Your two heroes are Mitch Marner and Nick Suzuki. No one would predict that. No one in the world.
But we have two guys I guess one guy that represents a Canadian team. The other guy used to represent a Canadian team. And then the other guy who's the top guy is playing for a Canadian team as well. So it shows, listen, we want our Canadian stars playing for Canadian teams. Crosby's not, McKinnon's not, Celebrini's not. It's too bad. We need the Canadians to come back to Canadian teams, because right now the Leafs, who are they watching? Austin Matthews in the Olympics? No, you are not cheering for Austin Matthews, guys. We're not cheering. You are cheering for Brad Marchand. That's who you're cheering for. Habs fans are cheering for him. Leafs fans are cheering for him. I don't care how much you hate him when he was on the Bruins, how much you hate him on the Panthers. I don't care. Right now, you love this man.
Let me say this, Jaclyn, and I hate to cut off the podcast early because I do have to go in a few minutes. I got a few minutes still, but one of my final points I want to make, and we can wrap this up. I got a few minutes, like I said, is Mitch Marner came back to Toronto, and I don't think it's justified, but was booed the whole time. Maybe justified, maybe not. Let me just say this right now. When he comes back, whether it's this season or next season, if this men's team wins gold, he better get a hero's welcome. He better get a big clap. He better get an applause. He better get all the celebrations, because he's the reason they win gold if they do win gold. First off, who knows what he's to do in the semis and finals? But regardless of his role in the semis and finals, if they win gold, and it's a big if, he better get a hero's welcome when he comes back to the ACC. That's all I'm saying. He better get a hero. A Mitch Marner hater. He better get a hero's welcome when he comes back. He better.
I 100% agreed. Listen, the booing, I understood. Obviously, with Marner's return, it ended very poorly. But when it comes to next season, I don't care if he trash talks the Leafs anymore. I don't care what he says about the Leafs. You give that man a standing ovation for if we go on to win. I don't care if if they get 0 ice minutes for the rest of this tournament. I don't care what he did today. Beats everything else that he's ever said. Because, listen, I'm also saying this just because I prefer Team Canada over the Leafs anyways. There's people out there who just love the Leafs and don't care about Team Canada. Fine. But if you're a hockey fan and you're Canadian, it's Team Canada over everyone. Leafs and Habs fans are besties right now. Right?
Mitch Marner is my favorite person on the planet besides Nick Suzuki. It goes Nick Suzuki, Mitch Marner, and then I guess Binnington, because Binnington made those big saves, right?
Binnington, Celebrini, McDavid, you name it. Seth Jarvis got like an assist too, which I'm happy to see him playing a little bit.
I didn't have it on my bingo card that after this game at 2 p.m. Eastern time, Mitch Marner would be my second favorite person on the planet. That wasn't on my bingo card. It really wasn't, you know?
I would not have suspected that Marner would get the overtime winner. That is the biggest shock to me, is that, he's been kind of nowhere this playoffs. I thought it'd be a Celebrini, a McDavid, a McKinnon, even a Suzuki for a second goal. So it was just awesome to see. And it wasn't a lame tip in. It was I'm not crapping on Suzuki's goal though.
Of course.
But Marner's was, come on, he took over.
Play. Yeah, it was the whole play. I mean, I think the biggest thing about Suzuki and why he's even getting more credit is, it was just a tip in, but it's like he created that whole play. He stays on the ice, gets it in, passes it, right? He created it was arguably the best shift any Canadians had of the whole tournament. I know that's crazy because Celebrini's been great and McDavid's been great. I want to argue that was the best shift any Canadian has had the whole tournament, considering the moment, Jaclyn. Consider how big the moment is. You're down by a goal with a few minutes left. In my opinion, Jaclyn, that's the biggest play. I mean, maybe Marner trumps it because Marner gets the game winner. Let's disclude Marner's goal. I think that's the biggest play any Canes made the whole tournament.
You know what? I don't hate that take. You definitely got to do, it's definitely a tough take, but I understand I understand the reasoning. I get it.
It's because the moment, right? Listen. If I was to argue Suzuki's been the best player, people would say you're on heroin, Owen. I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing just an individual shift or an individual play. To me, that's top 2, and it's not 2. I think it's just 1. I mean, maybe it's 2 if you want to count Marner, but let's take off Marner's goal. I mean, there's no bigger moment than that for Nick Suzuki. So
it was a huge moment. I'm gonna let you go. I know you have to go. I'm gonna stay on. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Jay's news. Lots of exciting stuff. Owen, though, man, we're going to the semis. Yeah, we're going to the semis, baby.
I'll book it. I don't know who Canada's playing. I'm gonna say Canada wins 5-1 in the next game. In the finals, I expect a war with the U.S. I'm not going to try to predict that. I'm just going to say for all the fans out there, or all the haters even who think I'm crazy, like they've said in other podcasts, Canada wins 5-1 in the next game. That's my prediction. Jaclyn, much love. Nick Suzuki, our Canadian hero. Go Habs, go. But more importantly, go Team Canada. Go Team Canada.
Let's go Canada. All right, Owen.
All right. See you, Jaclyn. Peace, guys. Go Canada.
Cheers. Thanks, Owen.
Peace.
Boy, crazy stuff that we saw today. Team Canada, the Olympics have been amazing. You know, Canada has been winning. They have not been winning as many goals as we've hoped so. Things are kind of picking up now, though. Olympics is awesome. Who doesn't love the Olympics? I think it was the last time I spoke with Owen, we talked a little bit about summer, winter Olympics. And, I'm thinking, like, what do I actually prefer, winter or summer Olympics? My favorite Olympic event ever is hockey, women's and men's hockey, watching Team Canada. But as a whole, I actually might say summer. It's hard to say, though. It's definitely hard to say because I love snowboard and ski, the half pipe, all those tricks. I love that stuff. But then summer, it's like gymnastics is awesome. The basketball is awesome. Beach volleyball is really fun. We had some surfing last Olympics. You know what? I've been going back and forth, though, but it's definitely a tough one to say summer or winter. I might say Summer Olympics over winter. I'm going to go back and forth with it. My next episode, I could very well say winter over Summer Olympics. But that also led me to think, what kind of athlete would I want to be? And I'm very curious as to what you guys all feel. If you were an Olympic athlete, you just had the skills. You don't have to worry, oh, it sounds too hard. No. You have those skills. What athlete would you want to be? And I'm thinking of a singular athlete, a single event. So you can't be a hockey player. You can't be a beach volleyball player, a basketball player. So, or even a curling. You can't be a part of curling as well. So I was thinking about this actually. I was talking to some people. And if I was in the Winter Olympics, I'd be a snowboarder. Because snowboarders are so cool. They have the aura. They have the swag. There's nothing cooler, I don't think, in sports than a snowboarder, a half pipe snowboarder. Like that stuff is so cool to me. So that's what I'm going to go with in snowboarding. And then Summer Olympics, a lot of people were saying gymnastics. Yes, you'd have the skills, but I think the pressure is just absolutely insane. I think that is the hardest sport in sports to be a gymnast. Simone Biles is the greatest athlete of all time, maybe, or at least currently. You know what? I'm going to say Simone Biles is the best athlete in the world right now. It's a big take. I understand that, but I think Simone Biles is just an absolute great. She's the greatest gymnast of all time. I'm not trying to compete in gymnastics, even with all the skills. I'm not trying to do that at all. I'm looking for something that I just feel cool doing. If I got to a team sport, I think beach volleyball looks really fun. I was never a big volleyball player though. That was one of the sports I didn't play. I was big on softball, baseball, basketball, hockey, flag football. Played a little ball hockey too, actually, and ice hockey. But volleyball I never really liked. However, beach volleyball looks so much fun. I do love spike ball, so I'd love if we can get spike ball going on in the Olympics. That'd be really awesome. But if I'm looking for something, again, that I just would feel really cool doing with the aura, skateboarder. Like, they have their AirPods in, their earplugs. They just look so cool doing it. It's crazy hard, though. All these, every event at the Olympics is hard. I was just kind of thinking what I think would be kind of cool to be, and I think a skateboarder would be kind of cool. But yeah, so I want to shift from the Olympics. I know I kind of just rambled there, but Team Canada, unbelievable stuff. Jaclyn Celebrini is such a joy to watch. Connor McDavid, he will go down as the greatest hockey player of all time. I'm definitely sure of it. Over Gretzky, I think, over Crosby, he needs a Stanley Cup though. McDavid, but I think the skills that he has is unbelievable stuff. And he's a joy to watch. Crosby's injury, there's no update yet on exactly what the injury is. We know that it's a knee injury, I believe, or a lower body injury after a hit. But we're not exactly sure what is wrong with it. Is it a break? Is it a tear? Is it just a sprain? Is it just a bruise? So we're waiting on that and see if he will come back. And Owen and I were even talking about if he should come back. And Owen kind of made this take of how Crosby, even if he is better, maybe sit him for this game, which I kind of get. Definitely will think more about that one, about Crosby, just because of the leadership. However, if he's not fully healthy, we can get a really good player out there, a fast skater. I would definitely prefer that as well. Mitch Marner, all the Mitch Marner haters, sorry guys, you are not allowed to be a Marner hater anymore. If you are a Team Canada fan, Marner has to be your guy right now. You can rock your Marner gear. Go get a Vegas Marner jersey even. Like, you just have to do what you have to do to represent what he did for Team Canada today. And yeah, fun game, stressful, so stressful. People did not expect this, considering we have not had stress watching Team Canada play in a really long time. So now watching today, seeing them be down in the game is shocking, right? We're spoiled as Team Canada fans. So craziness, but amazing win, and very excited for the next game. Women's gold medal game is tomorrow, Canada versus USA. A lot of doubts for Canada. They are not looking good. They are an older team. US is very young, very fast, very quick, blowing teams out. Canada got blown out by USA in their last matchup. However, have been playing really well other than them. So I'm predicting a Canada win. I know they're the underdogs, but if you're a hockey fan, if you love this team, you have to feel like they're going to find a way to win it. We have had so many underdog stories. And this Canada team, I know they're old, but they're vets. They've been here before. They're ready to win. And I'm just hoping to see a win as well. Going on with the Blue Jays now, I'm rocking a retro Blue Jays t-shirt here with the retro logo. Joey Loperfido was traded to the Houston Astros for Jesus Sanchez. A lot of feelings there. I know Loperfido was only with us for a short time. He wasn't that big of a player necessarily with the team, but he was just a really likable guy, a fan favorite. Roomies with David Schneider and Ernie Clement. It was hard to see him go. However, I believe that this trade is going to benefit Toronto a lot with Jesus Sanchez. He's a great bat. He's, I think, he will fit really well with this squad. It's just hard to kind of see a guy that the fans really love be traded. I understand that's how it works. It's just kind of sad to see. So I remember kind of being like, that sucks. It does suck. Some more Jays news. Chris Bassitt signed with the Baltimore Orioles. I was hoping he would stay with us. However, he wants that starting pitcher money, and teams need starting pitchers, and Bassitt is a starting pitcher. I know the Jays use him as a reliever in the playoffs, which is arguably my favorite player ever, is a Chris Bassitt reliever in the postseason. If I could just have that forever, that'd be awesome. But unfortunately, that's not how it works, and Bassitt deserves the bag, and I'm happy that he's getting another chance. It's too bad it's in our division, which I don't love, but, a lot of applause for Bassitt, I would hope, when he returns to Toronto. And then next, so spring training is happening. Obviously, if you guys watched my last episode, I had Hazel May on. She is currently at spring training, killing it there, working so hard. It was amazing to have her on the show. So if you guys have not watched it, go check it out, because she was fantastic. She found time to do this. She is the busiest person in the world. So check it out and follow all of her stuff as well. So yeah, with spring training, it was revealed that Anthony Santander needs surgery again. He will be missing about 5 to 6 months, I believe. There was a lot of concerns going into this season anyways, just the fact that Santander was not good last season at all when he was playing, and then he was injured a lot. We paid him a lot of money to come here. It was a disappointment. And then now going in, he is out for a while. I'm not mad that he's not playing, because honestly, I didn't like what I saw from him at all. You never want to see a player injured, of course not. However, I don't feel it's a loss to not have him in the lineup. I feel the Jays were much stronger without him. The outfield is much better without him in it. Obviously, it'd be amazing if he can make a comeback, and he's the kind of player that he is again, the kind of all-star player that he is again. Of course, I would love to see that again. However, this news wasn't as crushing as it would be if it was another player, like a Springer, like a Kirk, like an Ernie, like a Vladdy, of course, as well. So definitely well wishes to Santander. Hopefully he heals up quick, because we definitely want to have him back as well eventually, and hopefully kind of play the way that we expect him to play, the way that we want him to play this past season. All right, moving on. NBA All-Star Weekend was last weekend. Much better than it has been in recent years. It was the USA Stripes, it was the vets, the youngsters, and the European players, or the overseas players, world players. It was really fun to watch. Wemby really tried. Anthony Edwards really tried. Kawhi Leonard went off. It's not necessarily fixed, I would say. I don't think I wasn't locked into the All-Star game. I was kind of flipping around, watching a little bit. The dunk contest, I didn't watch at all. I'm sorry. I'm not interested anymore. The best dunk contest I think ever was in Toronto in 2016. Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine. I think it's gonna be really hard to top that. I think big names need to start entering in again. If you guys want people, if they want people to watch. So that's kind of too bad that it's just not entertaining anymore. But yeah, All-Star Weekend is All-Star Game was better. Lots to improve still, but definitely enjoyed what we saw. Scotty Barnes had a game-winning shot as well, basket. So fun to see, but definitely still room for improvements. I don't think I even recapped the Super Bowl. I think I've been just rolling some interviews out, been busy with that. I know it's been a while, so it's kind of irrelevant now, Super Bowl. But the Seahawks beat the Patriots. The game was kind of boring. It picked up, the Patriots kind of got something going. Drake May threw a beautiful ball to Mac Hollins, I believe. But then was kind of it. The Seahawks defense, unbelievable stuff. Their kicker, their punter. Darnold, I'm happy for him. It's an amazing story, as I said before the Super Bowl, that either team who wins, it will be an amazing story, whether it's Drake May and the Patriots or it's Sam Darnold and the Seahawks. So amazing stuff from the Seahawks. Honestly, Kenneth Walker III getting MVP, deserved. That whole defense honestly could have gotten MVP as well. But kind of a boring game, unfortunately. Did not get the stuff that we wanted from a Super Bowl, but it's kind of how it is. It's always still a fun time watching the Super Bowl, and now we're ready for the next season. A lot of exciting stuff. Fernando Mendoza will likely be going first overall to the Raiders. And hopefully the Giants can make some more moves. I'm hoping for, but moving on with that. Chris Paul retired. Chris Paul was traded to the Raptors at the deadline. It was then revealed that he was not actually going to play for the Raptors, and then we waived him, and then he announced his retirement. It's too bad to see him go out like this. It is funny that he will be technically retiring as a Raptor. But it's too bad that his, last season run with the Clippers ended the way it did. As you all know, I would assume already, the Clippers kind of kicked him off the team, sent him home during an away game, and it was a really bad situation. And he gave so much to that team all these years, so it was a kind of too bad of a situation. But yeah, I guess Chris Paul, Toronto Raptor legend. It would have been cool to see him play at least one game with us. I think that jersey would have been pretty cool, very vintage stuff as well. If we were able to get Chris Paul on this team for a bit. All right, that is going to do it. Team Canada, once again, unreal stuff. What a game. What an amazing game. Stressful, though. Very stressful. Olympics, continue watching. It's been amazing. It's been fun. Luge, I didn't even mention luge. That stuff is crazy. That is the scariest, I think. Skeleton, scary stuff. And then, Blue Jay spring training is happening now. Lots of exciting stuff happening. We're finally getting baseball back again. It feels like the season just ended, but at the same time, it feels like we've been waiting forever for the season to come back. So I'm just happy to kind of get that going again. Football off season, basketball, the season will continue Thursday. So tomorrow night, NBA's back again properly, and go Team Canada. Let's win gold. And then the women's are playing tomorrow for gold. Please, Canada, come on, upset USA. Let's do this thing. All right, everyone. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Owen, for joining me for a little bit. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.